Recently, President Trump addressed the nation for the first time on the Iran war. A lot of us watched it, but I wondered, did we all hear the same thing? I mean, I know what I heard. For me, the message was loud and clear. But of course, when you sift through reactions across social media circles, you get quite a bit of varied responses. I suppose that's to be expected. So, what did I hear? I want to talk about that because, based on a lot of reactions on social media I saw to his speech, I think some people missed the message and didn't quite hear what the president actually said. I want to try to clear some of that up. Let's take what he said about the state of Iran's military defenses. Was he bragging? Was he delusional? When he said our forces have taken out their Air Force and Navy, are these misstatements? You can ask any intelligence source and they'll all say the same thing. This is true. They're gone. I think there's something noteworthy as well when he listed off timelines on other wars we've been involved in. At first, I will admit, maybe this was your reaction too. I wasn't exactly sure where he was going with that, but then it struck me. It's how quickly we have accomplished these confirmed things. The Navy is gone. The Air Force is gone. We've knocked out their radar systems. Many of their missile defenses are gone too. I mean, Iran is not totally defenseless, right? We just had a plane shot down. They're still holding tankers hostage in the Strait of Hormuz. The war is not over. We haven't declared victory yet. And nowhere in President Trump's speech did I hear him necessarily declare it. But in a very short time, we've almost brought a country that has spent decades building up a rather strong military to their knees. Honestly, Iran doesn't have a whole lot of options left. And any options they may have now will be even more diminished the further into this we get and the longer this gets dragged out. If anyone is delusional, I think it's the ones who want to call the Iran war a disaster. By what measure really can anyone claim that? Maybe it's that the Strait of Hormuz is still stuck. We're mad about gas prices. Just a few weeks ago, we were filling up for just under $3 a gallon. And just the other day, driving past my local station, it's jumped to $4.39. That hurts. If that's not enough, one can almost guarantee not just gas prices, but everything else will go up too, because of course, everything we buy is tied to oil in some way or another. But the president made something else clear in his speech too, and I wonder if people caught it. I know some did. Did you catch it too? Because I think it's an important thing to take in here. We don't get any of our oil in the United States from tankers passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Let me say that again. We don't get any of our oil from tankers passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Of course, that's not to say that what happens there has no impact on what we pay at the pump. It most certainly does. Oil is a global market, right? And so if you cut off a portion of supply anywhere in the chain, it's going to have a ripple effect on the whole market. That means us too, even if we get our oil from somewhere else. That's not the point. The point is that if there's anyone to blame for rising gas prices, it's not the war, it's not the president, it's what Iran is doing with the Strait of Hormuz. If the US wanted to, we could just end that part of the equation tomorrow. We've shown that we can do that if we want to. But here's the thing, it's not our oil. President Trump alluded to that, and I think rather strategically when you think about it, because among all the responses since this whole thing got started, that's something else I've heard people say. Trump just wants Iran's oil. Whenever a Republican president strikes, it's always got to be about the oil, right? That's never been the mission. We've only talked about taking the Strait and possibly Kharg Island as a last resort. If Iran doesn't want to make a deal with us to end this, and Trump's giving them not only an opportunity to make a deal, but one that leaves them with a chance to rebuild their nation. If we take their oil and knock out their power grid, Iran's literally left cold and in the dark. Remember when Trump said we'd send them back to the Stone Ages? That's what he means. If they have no military, no way to defend themselves, no electricity and no revenue from their oil, what's left for Iran? For the Iranian people, what's left for them? What will happen to the regime in Iran if they allow their country to be devastated to the point of no return? How much power would the regime even have? How much more power does that leave to the United States, who would have no choice but to rebuild the nation ourselves, our way, and with leaders we choose? Is that what Iran wants? Is that what the Iranian people want? Is that what we want here in America? Trump doesn't want the oil. I think that can't be stressed enough. Again, it's not ours. He called for other nations to go and get their oil. We've essentially cleared the way for them to do that. We have other priorities here. Trump's speech made that clear too. Our end goal is to remove the possibility of Iran obtaining nuclear weapons and their ability to pose a threat to surrounding countries in the Middle East and anywhere else they might consider targets. All stop. And isn't he just asking for a little help from these other nations? Stopping the Iran threat doesn't just protect Americans' interests. There are a lot of other countries that gain that protection as well. So there was a bully in the room. We've knocked that bully down. Go and get your oil. And by the way, that's not what the media wanted to call abandoning our allies. It's simply Trump saying, we did the hard part. Your turn to do your thing here. The path has been paved for you to do that with much less hindrance in the way. What I took away from Trump's speech is all that and a confirmation of what he said before and what his administration has said. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, his top generals. We're not there to nation build. We don't want to overthrow a government. We don't want to occupy Iran. We want them to be a beautiful country again. We want the people to be able to have a say in what happens next for them. But the president is also drawing a hard line here. Who comes next in Iran's leadership? We don't know, but what we do know is that they will come into their leadership knowing full well how they got there. They can check the bodies, right? They can view the desolation from their palace terraces. They'll have a clear vision of what path not to take in the future that took them down today. He wants a deal. That's it. He wants assurances that Iran will take the correct path. He's leaving them with two very important things still in their hands: their power grid and their oil. The two things Iran literally cannot survive without. The only things that gives them a chance to rebuild it all. It's on the table right now. Iran's fate is not in our hands. It's in theirs. Trump's giving them a chance, a final one. He's giving them a couple of days. They either take the deal or we finish them off. That may sound cruel. At the same time, Iran really doesn't have a choice here. Again, their military is gone. And isn't the message obvious? Trump so far has done all the things he said he would do. Take out their nuclear facilities, destroy their Navy, take out their Air Force. He's done all of those things. What makes Iran think he's not going to do the next thing he says he will do if they don't accept his proposition? I think Trump's address to the nation was clear and direct, not braggadocious, but commanding, not delusional, but truthful. So what's your take? I want to know. Again, what did you hear in the president's speech? Oh, and by the way, if you've made it this far, thank you for giving me some of your valuable time. Very thankful, and I appreciate it more than you know. If you want, go ahead and tap that like button. And if you like this sort of commentary, maybe consider subscribing as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.